Everybody, this is Backlog Grooming on, what is today, the 23rd of March in the year 2015. In the room, we have Chase, Chad, and Eric. And on the phone, we have Radhika. And this is Backlog Grooming. So we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on CPO story because we all pretty much know what's going on here. There's not a whole lot of stories over here. We do have one update, though, for this PSLX 6054 from Chase. This is the icons for MLM, not MLM, for WSM. Chase currently has his mouth full, but he told me that the icons are good as is, and we don't need any further updates on that. So we'll be closing this story
This is the
soon.
one from like 3 weeks ago for internal WSM logos.
Yep.
The new widget that was created.
Yes, because WSM is being updated and
Perfect.
So there you go. This is no longer required.
If you guys have any questions on that, feel free to circle back on any of this too.
But Chase, when you get a chance, just slide that over to close and
Make
say.
a little comment on why it's not necessary.
Skip that one. In bug fix maintenance, we have a couple stories. Both of yours, Radhika. Everything going good with those?
Is that Jira board updated? Can you refresh it, Eric?
Sure.
I think that's some.
Oh yeah, look at that. All updated.
Yeah.
Nothing in bug fix maintenance. Good job. We do have some stuff in ad hoc. This is all the sales events coming up. So Chase just sent me over these assets, so I'll be starting this story here soon. Then we have some other sales with a satin banner, and then we have the sales event coming, which are all these stories here. And then making the Universal CIC available on VSR BDP, and that is also tied to the CPO sales event. So I'll be doing that today. It's a really quick thing, as everybody knows. This story is to update the Lexus CPO logo on LCPO, and I checked those changes in. So they'll be for the next release, not this week's release, obviously. And of course, this is going out. This release is the media tag.
So we're assuming that most of these will probably be able to get resolved before the end of our sprint.
Yes.
But it's okay if one or two don't, because we're going to try to be aggressive with it.
Well, this one definitely won't, right? Because it's going to go on the next release. But these other ones should.
So you're saying that you're not... Does it make sense for you to even take a look at it until the next one? Maybe just throw it into the... Maybe we should toss that in backlog.
Yeah, that would make sense, because we don't have to do it until after...
I'll do that right now.
Okay.
I'll keep going then.
Okay, then I'll close out ad hoc. We have one for operations for release support, and Biswadeep has that. Keep on Biswadeep. We have one for tech debt. Looks like who is working on this? Oh, this is Niraj. 6052. Schedule a test drive in quick quote form, sending invalid attribute provider ID when submitting a form. It's got 12 hours on it left, and there's no... there's a description, but no updates. So
I think this is about she's waiting on Chad to reply, make something, but...
oh, in the mail. You sent
yeah,
your
in the
mail?
mail.
Yeah, so Dana pinged me on this, and she had no idea what this was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was like, this makes absolutely no sense to me.
So this is kind of a old story, Chad. If you want, like, I can provide more details in the mail.
Sure.
So this is the request originally from Dana. So if she doesn't want it, maybe we don't want to do it.
I don't think she said she didn't want it. She was just did not understand.
Oh,
so
okay.
I want to say, was it Niraj said this one to me?
Yeah.
And so I kind of read through it, and it made half sense to me. But we're doing 4 other things at once, and just to keep him moving, I forwarded it to Dana. And so yeah, if you could, if anybody could provide me a little bit more detail, based on maybe a business person, you could say like the business case of it, remove like more of the technical stuff. That would be great.
Is this something? Should we still have it in this week's release, or should it go to next week's? Because
I think this will not be in this release. He didn't check in any code.
Yeah, he didn't check in anything, and
Toss it in the backlog.
questions are not. Can you do that since I'm recording?
Sure.
Please. Okay, cool. We'll move on.
It's 6052, right?
6052. Yeah.
Yeah, I will try to reply to that actually.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Vehicle compare is two closed things. We're going to get past that. CPO has some design bugs, CPO redesign bugs, not design bugs. Some small issues. Looks like small numbers left here. So I know these guys are working on it. So keep it on. Down in Lexus program support, we have a couple bugs. The first one, update pixel tags on dealer compare, which was the issue you sent over where they saw two tags firing on page load. And let's see, did he put it in here? Because he sent you an email saying doesn't know where the other one comes from. But I don't know. I don't know if you're stuck on this, Pratik, but Pratik's not here, so he won't hear this.
So I would just basically say, could someone else pick this up and take a look at it?
Yeah.
Maybe just reassign it then.
Yeah, I will. I'll take this one. Pixel tags for me. Okay, and then one that's still in new status. This says implement modifications to quick search inventory widget. Looks like Chad, you open this. It says done when research, and then to implement a bug functionality. So
the description or the attachment description.
Yeah, so there it is.
There we go. Yeah.
Quick search inventory widget. So, yeah, that's right. This was a message I couldn't read. But is this the same quick search widget as we have on the new CPO page? Because that is the inventory search widget, and it's a little quick one. So it's kind of available, kind of not. It just needs to be styled.
Did you and I talk about this one?
Quickly, and I told you I couldn't read the message, and you were trying to explain to me, and I said, "Oh, we have it on the CPO page." So we need to figure out exactly which widget they want, based off of that email. And you forwarded me the email.
Got you.
And I have it, so I will update that. I just remembered that.
So I'm trying to do the last two things you told me to do, and don't give me a third.
This is
so
all
why don't you
late
send it
Friday.
to yourself, read the email,
Yeah.
and if you have any questions, turn around and we'll talk.
Okay. All right, next one down. Actually, I'll assign that to me, so I'll remember to do that. That one. Okay.
Sorry?
So, yeah.
So the earlier one, was it for the UI task?
The earlier what?
The earlier one that you showed up, which doesn't have assignee.
This one?
We're just discussing with Chad, right?
We were discussing 6060. This one.
Oh, okay. So it's assigned to you. That's fine. I thought earlier it wasn't assigned to anybody.
It wasn't assigned to anybody, but there was questions. I had questions about it, so I updated it to assign it to myself, so I can answer those questions, and then we can reassign as necessary. Okay, so moving on. Next one is the Lexus lead support / Elms, and looks like Radhika, you have a flagged issue.
Yeah. So I think that we are waiting on the approval from Lexus side for this. I have this rough LOE.
Correct.
Very simple one.
So
can we close it? We need to keep the story.
So here's what I'm going to do. So Dana was out today. Her child's sick. So Lexus did send over. This is the external SLP web service, right?
Yeah.
So Radhika, I'm going to send you over another document that they just sent me today. They're asking if we can meet at 9:30 on Wednesday. So if you want to take a quick look at that Word document, and if you're comfortable with everything that they're bringing up and talking about in it, then I'll just tell them that we are comfortable to meet on Wednesday morning, and I'll just assume that you read through the document and write down any of your questions, assumptions, dependencies, risks, all that good stuff. If you feel like this is a little too advanced or we need an architect, then let me know and I'll quickly get Ritesh to join.
Okay.
Sure. You just need to let me know if you're comfortable with it or not. So you have the document right now. So I would say let's go ahead and leave this story. Radhika, I think we're going to have to change it a little bit. But the story now is more of, if you could just follow up with me on the email I just sent.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Then we have one more issue. 6050 on the Flex Vehicle Details page. When we try to drag the page in mobile, it leaves a cutoff screen on the left side. This has 16 hours to it, and it looks like I have a little description here. Currently, as of day.
Up in the release time Neeraj found it, but there's no assigning for it.
No assignee, and it's not going to get done in this release, so maybe this should go to backlog.
Sure.
On the Flex Details page, when we try to drag the page in mobile, it leaves a cutoff screen on the left side.
Yeah, I think Biswadeep is doing the release support this week, so maybe we can assign to Biswadeep and see if this is still existing or not.
Yeah.
I can comment to that. So I'll do that.
Yeah, comment, and I would say move it out, because it's not going to be done this week, and it's not going to... we're not going to finish the 16-hour task.
So how about, Radhika, you said you were going to make a comment on it, and Biswadeep will listen to this recording. So Biswadeep, if you feel like this isn't going to get done, you can pull it out. If you feel like you might be able to get parts of it done, then maybe you put this into 2 stories. One story that you can get done in this sprint, and then a follow-up for next sprint. Thanks.
Okay. All right. That is the current sprint. So let's go to backlog. So everybody might have seen today with a whole bunch of emails coming through that I went and updated a whole bunch of stories in the backlog. I didn't sort anything. I just updated stories. So we have these that are moving from the current sprint into this sprint. I did add one thing. This is 6069. This is to remove a temporary fix that we had to put in place for that promo badge issue last week, because the subsequent check-in on the blank file had content. Then this fix needs to go away on Thursday. So this will need to go out next Monday. Or Wednesday.
Support. We're normally not assigning that, are we? I know it's Biswadeep this week, but we probably don't have to assign it because we try to keep the same story.
Yeah.
Perfect. Could you drag that to operations?
Sure.
Epic. Thanks.
Yeah, that was easy. Okay. All right, so now onto the backlog. First, we have Alexa CPO sales event, and this should be in next week's sprint or farther. It should be next week's sprint.
What are the acceptance criteria?
Read through Danny's IPD and confirm the template is complete.
Yeah, you could drag it in.
It's in this next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez Louise, Chad. You drag that to ad hoc? We dropped the ball on that one. Somewhere Kyle Johnson is happy. That.
Okay, so the first one in the backlog is I would like to not have a contact at once JS error. I read through this, and Pratik, he's out, but he is in communication with, there's a nice long email in here. He had a chat with Contact at Once, and Contact at Once raised an issue with their IT department, and so I think he's waiting for them to communicate back. So this can sit in the backlog until...
Sure. What you said just reminded me of, we talked about an hour ago, Eric. We found the issue with 2 windows opening on a CTA click event, and we found that that was not a Lexus issue, but it was a core issue. I guess there is no story. Who's actually the one that found that?
Pratik.
Okay.
He's the one working on it, and I think he's the one who sent the email out. Yeah.
Got it. I was just wondering if someone could follow up with the core team or the dev all.
The dev community. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So the email was sent out to the dev community asking if anybody else is having issues with the two tabs opening. And I don't know if we have a resolution on that yet. So, and we don't have a story for that either. So yeah. That's not okay.
Well, you keep going. You know what? Just because I feel like that's an important issue, I'll create a story for it.
Okay.
And I'll just assign it to Pratik to follow up.
Okay.
Perfect.
This next story is analyze port enhancement to remove header for certain models. This is a long way of saying remove the header from the sides. You assigned this to me, and I said it can easily be taken care of, and I actually put a screenshot of what can happen. I mean, all you have to do is delete this text right here, and it will not display on the image. And it's a simple master site change, so we just need somebody to say, do it. And we'll do it.
What are the... Sorry, we're talking about a lot of different things.
Yeah, this
What are
is
the consequences of doing this?
there is no consequence in doing this. It's a normal thing that we do all the time.
So if we get rid of the header, what was the header there for, and why don't we need it?
So
anymore?
the header was there before because on our old port layout, they used to be the header and stuff was on the right. Remember over here?
Yeah, that's right.
But now we're using the Merlot assets, and so that header, see, it's sitting right here. It just moved from up there to over here, but we have assets with that on. In some places, it's overlapping.
Is there any instance where someone's actually using that header in a legit way?
These are OEM slides, so no.
You've just gotten your permission to remove the header.
Cool, so I'll do that today. That's a really simple one. We should move that into today's sprint.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. Yay. Wish you could drag it into a sprint. That'd be great. Active sprint. Okay. That's done. Okay, next one down is huge empty space after footer. You guys notice I put a nice little attachment on here to show the issue as of today. If everybody take a look real quick when it opens. Yay, an animated GIF. As you can see, it scrolls down super long, super long.
Yeah, that's when you're showing.
2,000 pixels to be exact. It scrolls back up. So this is still an issue. It's obviously not hurting anything. It just is ugly. So, but it's a nice thing to work on. And if anybody knows how I made that GIF, let me know. It's a cool little Mac thing. So
That's 5166.
yes.
Is there any hours associated to it?
No, because they weren't sure it was an issue or not, and I'm not
Got
sure
it.
how long it's going to take. So we'll let Sandesh update the hours since he's going to look at it. And so he's looking at the issue. You should be able to put hours on there because we don't know if it's going to be an easy fix or if it's going to take some restructuring.
You want to drag it into the next sprint?
Yeah, he's assigned to it, so yeah, we'll go ahead and drag it into the next one. He might drag it into the current sprint, depending on how long it takes. So
Your call.
we'll put it in next sprint just for fun, just for now. Sandesh, if you want to move it up into the current sprint, if you think you're going to get it done before the sprint ends, then yeah, do so. Otherwise, we'll have it for next week.
And welcome back, Sandesh. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, no more itchy.
No.
Boy, I remember that was 16.
Yeah, it was 12. It was horrible. I missed Kevin Credit's birthday party. I was so mad.
Okay, so next one down is PSLX 5906. This is move acceptance test broken into domain areas. Radhika, I was chatting with you about this morning. And I don't know if we have any. It's fine in the backlog, correct?
I'll move it to the next sprint.
Okay, great.
I don't have much next sprint, so I'll move it.
Great. Biswadeep, you have remove feature rollout switch and the Sauce Labs task. The Sauce Lab task is 24 hours. This seems like a big for a story, but it is. I understand it's a huge thing. Maybe this should be broken down into smaller tasks.
Yeah.
And then dropped in. So, Mr. Deep, if you could look at 5930, we'll leave it in the backlog. If you can break it down into smaller tasks and then put them into the sprints as you feel necessary, please. Okay, next one down, 4850. Operation hours need to align correctly when multiple hours are configured in hours and directions. I went and looked at this. This was just a CSS update. Here's a picture of the issue. Doesn't really show the issue. I don't understand what the issue is. I assume that it's because the hours aren't lined up. I don't know. Sarisha opened this, so we would have to ask her. So I went and did a quick, thing and lined them up like this, just by making a float right on these elements. Is that what we want it to look like? That's a question. So if we want it to look like that, it's an easy fix. But the main question is, do we really want to do this work on a page that isn't responsive? Like, do we care what the address or the hours align on a non-responsive page?
So who's using this page?
Everybody has this page. It's their hours and directions page.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think a little bit.
I mean, it doesn't look horrible now, but maybe it was not designed that way back when we first designed it. So let's do this.
Still on a page on a widget, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's just right here. Oh, maybe this is what she's talking about. That's what she's talking about. What I attached is not what she's talking. This is what's the problem. See how they're all wonky?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what needs to be fixed. Okay, so that is a problem. Well, again, do we need to worry about that? I mean, it looks funky. All the sites have this. It's the default page for all sites. We probably should fix this because...
What's the fix versus what's the effort to make it responsive?
Um,
So you know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of this stuff I'll ask, like, if it's 4 hours of development and testing to fix it, but
Yeah.
it would be 10 hours to make it responsive, I'd say, like, let's start with this conversation about making it responsive. And
Okay.
just putting, so maybe instead of fixing this, could you maybe do a pass at how long would it take just to make it responsive?
could do that.
I'd almost like, I'd rather spend more time fixing things versus more duct tape on things that
Yeah,
from the past.
that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is with this page, we're going to need a designer's input on where things lay, and we get down to mobile, what's going to show and what's not going to show. Obviously, these things are going to be dropped, but I mean, do we still have this map and directions where you put your direction in and get,
Yeah.
do we really need this on mobile because it's a redundant page with? Do we need this
Massive.
page? Period, because all this stuff is up here. I mean, everything is up here. Get directions, and it takes you to another page, which is not this page. And so, I don't know. This page needs more discussion, I think.
It does, because what's weird is I could just see having an argument with folks in services or ES or the business, and they're saying, "Oh, we absolutely need it," and I think we absolutely need it because we still haven't got people fully engaged
Yeah.
with the experience that they should,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're still allowing them to fall back on their old ways. And
Yeah.
I just feel like if we're really going to make a step in the right direction here, let's fully make the step and start shutting off the old stuff.
Yeah.
But
Redundant things.
yeah, let me shoot. I'll talk to Dane about that. So how about for this one? Unless there's something that you could provide great input on, one versus the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it possible? And if it's not, I totally get it. For you to do a pass on, how long would it take to fix versus what would be required for us to. So I guess what we're talking about is just actually deprecate it, right?
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Okay. Go back to the springboards. So it's an older one. It's 4850. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. 6062 is delete the old CPO story page once the other page is live, I guess. Does that make sense? This probably won't go out next release, so we don't need it in the next sprint. We should at least let the new page sit, I would say, for at least 2 weeks before deleting the old one.
Yeah, and I was talking to someone late last week, and Radhika, this one's for you. I noticed that maybe we were in the middle of something and someone was doing development, but are the redirects in QA2 as well?
Are you asking if it is working fine?
Yeah, so remember we had redirects so that CPO
Yeah.
story is going to go to the new URL, which is certified, pre-owned, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That's all done, I know, that in a work in production, right?
Yeah, it will work in production.
What about QA?
QA3, it's working fine. I tested it.
Got it. Do we need to somehow get that in QA2 in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I thought, if nobody is testing it, so that's why I didn't look at QA2 now. But,
Sure.
yeah, QA2 also, it should work fine.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next story down is the refactor the NVI disclaimer to use Knockout.js. So this was moved to the backlog due to high priority CPO. So this is another big effort that's 24 hours. It says there's only 5 hours left, so that's good. But of course, we don't want these big stories anymore. Next one is 5542, create WSM offer setting to disable lock and other offer creation for new inventory. Lexus would like not to have dealers create other types of offers for new vehicles. Currently in WSM, there is no way to disable other offer creation for dealers.
So I just sent a mail to chat regarding this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Again, if this turns out to be a valid story, then we need to chunk it down into smaller hours.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's kind of a new project or a new thing that we need to do if we need it actually.
Okay. Next one down is to fix a Lexus lead duplicate submission test.java 5624. Tashar opened this a long time ago, so I couldn't find out if this was a valid story or not today. So Radhika, can you take a look and see if this is still a valid story? Please?
Yeah, sure.
Cool, thank you. Next one is add product code and database. Oh, this is for FIR enhancements, and so we have a couple stories for those. These are the two for FIR to move to version 3. So those can sit in the backlog because we do want to move to version 3. It's just need time to do it.
Do we have any? Idea? We shouldn't really have a. I know this is way old. We shouldn't really have an epic call that one. That's technical debt, right?
It's not a technical debt per se. We're on the core solution, and so we're not in debt in any way. Going to version 3 is a nice to have, but not completely necessary to have the widget. So it's more of an enhancement for us.
Got it. So because we're Lexus, we have to do extra work to get on version 3 that the other OEMs may not have to do?
Yeah, and we do. We just because the way our pages,
yeah. Any idea what the effort is there?
It shouldn't be too much. I got version 3 to work fine on my dev for a little bit. So, I don't know. There's no hours tied to this, and I know Root's driving this, so...
Got it.
We might want to ask Root if he has a general idea on how many hours it's going to take.
Yeah, so, Root, if you could take a look at this one, and maybe just, even if you want to do a story to maybe help do some research and better organize the stories that would be needed, so that we have a clear understanding of exactly what we would have to do and how long it would take and what other help you would need. And then we can also start figuring out if it makes sense to do sooner or later. Potentially, this is something we could start working on, because I know it's come up a couple times. Yeah. Thanks, Root.
Okay, cool. The next few are technical debts, and they're all about lazy loading on different widgets. This is another great thing to have. We just need time to do it, which is the exact definition of technical debt. This next one is analyzing use of and removal of redirect to Lexus JSP file. I went and took a look at this in the master site, and I put my findings into this story. And it's basically there's just a redirect on that page. So what we need to do first is see if any of our internal pages only are linking to this redirect to page, and if they are, remove it, and then we can remove the page and its corresponding CSS. It does nothing right now. So, yeah, that's it. This actually should be in bug fix maintenance, correct?
Yeah.
Come on. You might notice, and I don't know if everybody's going to notice or not, but we have removed the bugs and support epic. That was the bugs ampersand support. That was the old one that Jake created when we first started Jira, and it didn't tie to the correct bucket. So this I know Jira and Jurnix are not tied together, but this is the correct Jurnix number, the 368924. So we'll use this from now on for bug fix and maintenance. And I've updated all stories. We have no more open stories using that bugs and support bucket.
Yay.
So I'm going to update that. Okay, so got another one, a couple here that analyze and resolve prod errors. We don't have anybody assigned to these, but it looks like they're Tashar opened them.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
So, all the technical debt stuff, or Eric or Chad actually. So, all the technical debt stuff will go to PD responsive support, right, Chad?
So the criteria is always with the. I almost thought we had a technical at Epic.
This is technical debt. Epic.
So, what are you talking about, Radhika? Are you talking about the epic, or are you talking about the component, or are you talking about where to charge it in Journix?
There are, right? I mean, I'm just talking about epic to component like matching. So we do have bug fix maintenance epic and the technical debt epic. So both of them will point to the same component. Like I see technical debt tasks are also mapping to the same bug fix maintenance 3688294, right?
She's looking at the detail screen up to the right.
I don't know if you, I mean, so what I'm saying is, even if we have two epics, the Journix code for them is same. So I just want to confirm that.
I guess from my perspective, so responsive support, and again, I'm going to actually kind of look at the page here. Is anything, so we may need to actually get the Jira board a little bit more up to date as far as the epics and components that we have. Eric did a good pass on that earlier today.
Just on the bug fix stuff.
But for PD responsive support, that's any support work related to the fact that Lexus is an unresponsive platform, and that would normally be done by a core dev team.
So these stories right here, this implement lazy loading and responsive images for these widgets would usually be done by the core dev team, but we're going to do it for Lexus. And so these ones are actually tied to the PD responsive support component, and these two stories need that update. They need to, this one and this one need to be tied to the PD responsive support. So those would be under the right buckets.
5670.
Yeah, so 56, 70, and 71. Okay, so I'm gonna keep moving on.
Did that answer your question, Radhika?
I understand. So if anything that needs to be done with the product, then that goes to the PD responsive support. Other things that we can put it on the bug fix bucket.
Correct. And again, when you say anything that should be done by product, anything that would normally be done by product, but we don't have a product team doing it because we're responsive on Lexus. But like, well, one of the issue we found last week where it was found that the click event generated 2 windows opening, and that was actually done on the core. Then that isn't anything for us, right? That was a bug fix that actually ends up resulting in an issue to the core team.
But since Pratik worked on it, he should be charging his time to PD responsive support on that, right?
Yeah, but then we shouldn't actually keep working on it.
No,
right?
yeah, like he'd get like maybe an hour or two on the research. Yeah.
And we're gonna fine tune this over the next few months. I feel like every few weeks we get a little more granular, right? And we start getting a little more specific. I mean, I don't know if we've ever made it this deep into the backlog.
Yeah, we're still going. We got time.
Keep going, man.
Okay, so we have all these analyzed prod errors. I don't know if they're still an issue or not. They've been here a while, so I think they are still an issue. We should make sure and hopefully get them fixed. We need to take a look. There's some data in each one. So those are correctly in the backlog. We do have this one. Errors and logs warn of duplicate Lexus timer tasks being registered. This estimate is at 4.5 hours, and it says it has 16 hours remaining. This seems...
Who touched it last?
Bharat opened it. And it looks like Niraj in December. Yeah, it looks like it exists everywhere.
Where it kind of end?
In December.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's top is the most recent.
Yeah, right? December. The stupid thing is in
Niraj, could you take a look at this one? And if this is still valid and there's still a lot of work to do, could you at least do a pass at maybe fixing the estimate versus remaining? And I guess that could be valid. What happens if you thought it was going to be 4 hours and it ended up being a lot bigger project than you thought?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, the next one down is a technical debt. This is investigate options for factoring and splitting up widgets.js. If everybody's seen widgets.js, it's a giant file that contains all of the Omniture functions for every single widget we have. Dangerous, very dangerous. So we need to split that thing up and hopefully do something. Maybe move each in one of those functions into individual widgets files. Who knows? But that's part of this story, is to investigate that. And then also we have this story which is split tagless JS content up. Let's see, the current implementation of Omniture for Lex program is single tagless. Common tag should move to Omniture and page split tag. So it looks like this wants to be split up even more. I know Pratik did an awesome job on splitting it in half, which was awesome. But this is to move even further down into granularity and keep these things separate. So this is a good technical debt story. And then this one was opened by Pratik, was create more responsive widgets, crafted line kind of pages. And this is basically just to put some common code out there to make widgets behave wherever you put them on our site, which is a good idea and a good technical debt thing to do because we don't have that right now. Next one is responsive LCPO, mockup, and LOE. Let's see.
This is something that
Radhika opened this a long time ago. There's no hours remaining. It's an LOE.
How old is this?
Let's see. I wish you could tell when it was opened. Is there a way to see that? She put a comment on it on January 26th and said that you will follow up if we need it or not when you first started with Lexus.
Radhika, is this striking a bell at all?
Oh, yeah.
So this is about the responsive LCPO tag. I don't know. We can close it actually. If it comes back again, we can create another one, I guess.
Sure. You just withdraw it if you want.
Okay. We will edit that sucker to close.
I can see. Okay, you can go ahead.
Oops. Well, here, I'll let you do it because I don't know where the workflow is in there. So go ahead and close that one, please.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is 5237. iPhone styling for contact slide out is broken. This is there's a hack in the master site, and I put in the right here in the comments. I put where it lives. We just need to take this code and put it in the correct place in websites. Nothing is broken right now. It's just we want to get all these hacks out of the master site, and this is one of the last ones.
How long would that take?
I don't know. I don't know where it goes, and the code is already written. Obviously, we just need to put it somewhere and make sure it still works once you put it in the websites, and that's the hard part. You know, it's not just plug and play, right? So we got to figure it out how to do it. It's not urgent because we have a fix, and we've had a fix ever since the responsive design started, but we would like to get the hack out of it.
Yeah.
It's ugly. All right, next one is the Lexus LDA offers scope breakdown and creates stories. And Biswadeep has this. I don't know about this. Done when entire project scope has been broken into stories.
You can go ahead and close it.
This one be close too?
I'll close it just so they'll approve it next week. It's been open for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
This is the offers thing that we did a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
ES thinks that this is going to get approved 12/22. It's 3/23 and it's not approved yet.
All right, I'll close it. I have opened it in a new window. Come on. There we go. Workflow. Close. I love doing this. Yay. Bye-bye. All right, back to the board. Okay, this is a very simple bug. We could probably move this to the top of the backlog, if not into the next sprint. On the service, on the About Service and Parts page, there's some text that has an inline or an important tag on it, which when services goes in and tries to put stuff on top of it, they have to deal with this important tag because you can only overwrite an important tag with another important tag. And so if we just remove that, it's going to make it easier for them. It's not doing anything now, and they have a workaround, but it would make it easier for them if we remove this tag. Super evil. It's one line of code deleted and then done. So
if it's literally looks like it's going to be less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's just throw it to the top.
Okay.
If we've got some that are really low hanging fruit here that are straightforward, let's just knock them out.
Cool. Next one is the issue with masthead getting hidden in iPad. So we all tested this, and it's only broken in iOS 7. But really, how big of a deal is it in iOS 7? Who cares? If you're not on iOS 8, you have other issues. But and if you have iOS 7 and you're looking for Lexuses, you're probably not going to buy a Lexus. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of that's 12 hours. So if we just kind of ignore this for the next 6 months, wait until we don't no longer support iOS 7, we can close it.
I mean, as soon as it's going to be, I can't see the phone on my watch, or I can't see the pages on my watch. So
okay, I'd keep this one further down. Yeah.
Okay, let's leave it down here. The next 4 stories are department info widget enhancements. This is a good step forward on a widget that might get used. So this is really nice to see. We'll move down to the next one. Lexus BYL responsive iframe widget does not work on demo sites. I think we've all seen this on demo 1. Come on. If we go to build your Lexus, come on. It doesn't work properly because we get a domain mismatch is the problem. It'll kind of work, but not totally work, and it's going to take forever because I'm on Wi-Fi, broadcasting, and on the projector. You can see my battery's down to 22. Chase, do you have a power cord? Okay. But anyway, you'll see it doesn't work properly. If we go down to the bottom, it's cut off, and if we go to the compare, it's really broken. So
this occurs for which scenario?
If the website doesn't have a vanity URL, so if it's nitro.lexusdealer.com instead of lexusofbellevue.com, it has a domain mismatch, and the JavaScript functions get knocked out.
Got it. So I see, just on demo sites.
Yeah, so Jake opened this one a while ago, and he's got a lot of details in here. So
during QA2, we might have the client complain about it, but it's a QA2 issue is what we tell them.
Well, we tell them to use a vanity URL. Go to Lexus of Bellevue, don't go to the nitro.lexusdealer.com.
Okay. Yeah, this does seem like a lower priority.
Yeah. So next one down is I would like to see the model pages using less files instead of CSS. This is an easy technical debt thing to update. Just to make sure they're pointing to the less files and not to the CSS files, and we'll move forward, and it'll be bundled and be nice. So that's a good one. This is another one of those custom reviews widget is not displaying properly for Lexus. They're not using this, but if they ever do decide to use it, we can say, hey, look, it looks nice already. So good job, group, giving that over. Next one down is Radhika. You have this refactor code to remove redundant jobs from Lexus PS batch jobs. And then Pratik's last comment on the 22nd of January, was it a good idea to move this to tech debts?
I think we already done it. Yeah, it's kind of a tech debt actually.
Okay. Can you update that one?
But it's kind of a lower price.
Okay, it's down towards the bottom, so it's good.
Yeah, I'll update the story.
Okay, cool. All right, so this one is kind of issue. I took a look at this one. This is mobile devices, or in mobile devices, a specials link is present on the FIR as a CTA button, but it's not in the hamburger button menu. I don't know if everybody knows, but in the hamburger button menu, only responsive pages will appear. We have logic to determine that. And so we would somehow need to put logic into the FIR to see, hey, if whoever created this URL, if it goes to a non-responsive page, don't show it on the FIR. That's a much bigger task than I think is even worth it. And it's a bad experience if you're on your mobile, though, and you get to a specialist page that isn't. So the thing is, we should make the specialist page responsive. So that's really what we need to do is go forward is to make, which is basically goes into this next task, which is make service specialist page responsive for mobile devices, which would get rid of 5884. And I assume it's for the View Specialist D page. Whoever opened this, I don't know who opened this. Root, if you can let us know if that is the page you're talking about, then we should move forward on that, I think. But it would really need a designer's input because it's a different page altogether. And then finally, I know there's two, but this is the last actual story. This is JS error bundling causing FIR to not load in IE. This is the one we've got back and forth with, and just other tasks have come in and taken over. So this one can stay in the backlog until we have time to work on it. It's still an issue. Got a whole half hour knocked out on it.
What's the error?
If we turn on responsive images, and I think if you have responsive images on and lazy loading, and you're in IE, the FIR doesn't load.
Okay.
Actually, all the widgets don't load, so that's the problem.
Real quick, how many hours do we have in the next sprint right now? Okay.
The last story is the release support, so no big. Backlog. Oh, sorry. So the next one, we have 6 issues so far. I don't know if there's 20, 22, 23, 24, and then something for that one. So probably like 30 hours. No, like 30.
Oh, I'm looking at the remaining estimate. I'm adding 12 for that one.
Oh.
If you look at the bottom.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. It's totals it. Yeah.
34 and 38.
So yeah, we definitely could probably use at least another like 140 hours of stories. So, Nate, why don't you guys, as you went through this, take a look, see if there's anything missing that you guys are seeing, anything big on your end. Just a quick reminder that if we are adding any technical debt or innovation items, let's make sure we update the Confluence page too. And maybe we should add a new column in there to link it to a Jira story. That'd probably be a good idea for traceability. Otherwise, if you guys have any questions on this, maybe just all talk amongst yourselves and maybe have one email that you send out. Any questions you may have, as well as any suggestions about, hey, you guys kind of glanced over this story. I think it's a bigger story and it would be really beneficial to have in our next sprint. Feel free to tee those up as well. Looks like we do definitely have a lot of bandwidth in this next sprint, as well as let's make sure we have a nice balance. I don't want to just, get a whole bunch of UI stories and then remember that only half our team is UI.
Yeah.
Let's try to get some backend stories as well.
Especially since Delete's coming. Good having something to do. Cool. So I'm going to end the recording because my battery, you can see, is at 14%. And so everybody have a good day, and I will send you this video. Bye-bye.